Alrighty, supply in the market, part 3, and that is student questions about the graphing and things we've done this far. Thank you so much for asking these questions. I'm excited. I'm hoping by us doing this through YouTube that this can help you guys, and if any of you have any questions. So, again, always remember, economics is exciting. If you hear any snoring, that's my boxer, Rocky, right next to me. I'm sorry. All right. Supply curve questions. Draw a label and explain what will happen to the supply of flip-flops at the cost of plastics to make them triple. So first off, we're making a supply graph for flip-flops because that's what it asks for. Easy for me to say. And so I put P, 0, and Q, and I would draw my graph. Then it's going to be the change of price of resources, and I know that because it asks, draw a label and explain what will happen to the supply of flip-flop if the cost of plastics to make them. So now I'm paying more money just to buy the same, the plastic to make my flip-flops than I was before, and it tripled. So that money I'm using to spend there, I can't put into the production of the supply of flip-flops. So that is why it will be a negative effect on the supply curve for flip-flops. So we'd have S1 to S2, and it's a negative, and it's changing the price of resources once again. The next question I had was about number 14. Draw a label and explain what will happen to supply shoes if a shoe manufacturer increases prices on all styles. Think of yourself as the person that is making the shoes, and so the supply of those shoes, if you increase the price of it, and your whole thing is to make money, if the cost of those shoes are, you're going to ask more, you're going to supply more. So it is going to be changing the price of resources. You might be saying, wait a minute, there's no resources being made in there. Well, just think of it as a whole. The resource itself is the shoe. So you got price, 0, and quantity. The graph is for shoes. It's going to be a shift to the positive. And that shift to the positive is supply 1 going to supply 2. The supply curve will go out. So again, it's change in the price of resources. The next one that I have was question 15. Draw a label and explain what will happen to the supply of gas if gas prices stay low this year, rise dramatically next year. So again, draw a label the graph. The graph is for gas. And this will be change in producer expectations because you realize they're going to rise next year, and you want to make sure that you continue to keep that price up, so you'll supply, if this was OPEC, you would supply less gas. So the graph would go to the left. The reason why you supply less gas is you want to get these prices up this year because you realize they're going to rise dramatically next year, so you don't want everybody stocking up on gas this year. So remember that. So it'd be going to the left from S1 to S2, change in producer expectations. I think that was question 17. And question 18. Draw a label and explain what will happen to the supply of lumber in Oregon if a fire destroys thousands of acres of forest in Pacific Northwest. So you have price, 0, and quantity, and you have lumber. That's what the supply graph is going to be labeled. And it's going to be the change of the price of resources because, think about this, the natural disaster, if all that wood burns down, it's going to change the price of those resources. Wood's going to cost more money. But there's going to be less supply. So, Chelsea, you are correct. There is less supply there. Alrighty? It is not competition per se on that. I could see where you would think that, but it's not competition. It's changing the price of resources. So, supply would shift to the left, S1 to S2, because you're going to now charge more for the wood that's available, the one that's still there. So it's a change in the price of resources, supply shifting to the left for lumber because of that fire. And remember, I talked earlier on the earlier video about change of prices of resources also includes natural disasters.